Racial egalitarianism, all arguments ranked and debunked. I mean, this is a pretty big video. Cool. Wow.
The West is racist. That's what mainstream leftism has been saying for decades.
Yep.
Why else would there be such great disparities in income, crime rates, etc. between racial groups?
Nobody
In
knows.
their worldview, all racial groups and cultures are equal. Therefore, all disparities can only be explained by discrimination. And for just
Of course, because we all know that's true.
as long, the mainstream right has been counter-arguing that culture explains all disparities.
That's correct.
In their worldview, some racial groups completely randomly adopted cultures that sabotage themselves. For them, culture is the root cause. Any racial group could theoretically adopt a culture that has worked for any other group and improve themselves.
True.
And for that reason, all could theoretically assimilate anywhere. Both of these worldviews are nonsensical. Obviously, discrimination isn't the only factor, and culture clearly matters. But just as obvious, a people's culture is not random. It's the product
Yes.
of the people who create and sustain it. And isn't there a more obvious root cause to consider? That perhaps different groups are innately different and thus have different outcomes, even in the absence of outside forces?
Oh,
When
man.
studying group disparities, why don't we examine the groups themselves? You already know why. Because in our modern society, one of the most sacred dogmas
Yes. It's everybody is equal. It's the
is
same.
racial egalitarianism.
That's right.
The belief that all racial groups are fundamentally the same. Which is precisely why in this video, I'll be ranking and debunking all arguments for racial egalitarianism, and then putting them on a tier list. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing. It helps the channel.
This
A quick
video,
disclaimer.
Oh man.
Since this entire debate exists because of the collective disparities between entire groups, we'll therefore be dealing with collective group averages. Therefore, the existence of exceptional individuals of
Averages. Wait, what? Wait, there's averages?
any group isn't relevant, as they are precisely that, exceptions. If you're the kind of person who accuses other groups collectively when it suits you, but then accuse others of racism if they don't treat members of your group as individuals,
Uh-huh.
you can click off. Intelligence is not genetically linked. This obviously false
fake.
statement is a necessary
Yeah, it's
act of
fake.
mental gymnastics for the purely socioeconomic factors crowd. Because intelligence is heritable, as shown from twin and adoption studies, it's completely within reason to say that certain groups have selected for it more than others. In fact, if you agree with evolution, then you must concede this. How else would humans have evolved intelligence? Some dog breeds are obviously smarter than other dog breeds. The Border Collie and Chihuahua are both the same species, yet differ greatly in intellect and trainability. Should we expect that a Chihuahua would do as well as a Border Collie?
Man.
Is it purely socioeconomic factors and
How
anti-Chihuahua
about
racism that makes them a minority in working dog roles?
That's a bad
NPC
argument.
tier. Humans are genetic.
Jesus. This video, bro, and it hasn't even been 3 minutes into the video. Oh my god. Holy shit.
99.9% identical. You share half of your genes with a banana. 90% of your DNA sequence is shared with your cat. Quantitative similarities between genetic content does not equal qualitative differences. That 0.1% matters.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that gray wolves are 99.9% identical to domestic dogs? In fact, they only diverged from each other about 20 to 30,000 years ago, which is significantly shorter than the divergence between some human groups.
Oh my god.
But obviously that
Bro, like 0.1% matters. Gray wolves are 99.9% identical to domestic dogs. One is a dangerous wild animal and the other is a beloved pet.
doesn't mean it's okay to bring a gray wolf to the dog park. If gray wolves on average end up being more aggressive than dogs, solely blaming it on just socioeconomic factors like dog trait disparities seems a little silly. Because remember, aggression, impulse control, personality traits are all also genetically linked. NPC tier. There is more
True.
intragroup variance than intergroup. This claim says that the genetic difference between one randomly selected person in the village and another randomly selected person in the same village is greater than the genetic difference between the average person of one race and the average person of another. Therefore,
I've never even
race
heard
is
this.
inconsequential. The premise is true, but there's a flaw in this logic. Not all genes are made equal. Most random genetic variants between people...
Somebody says this video would have been insta-banned in 2021. It would have been. It would have been. This is... Wow.
doesn't matter. But some specific genes matter so much that practically the entire group adapted to have those genes and are often defined by it. For example, the Duffy negative mutation, which is found in 95 to 100% of West and Central Africans, makes them immune to malaria. But 0% of those without African blood have it.
Wow.
Or the Tibetans' EPAS-1, which allows them to survive in high altitudes where oxygen is reduced by about 40%, which occurs for them about 90% of the time, but 0% for Africans and Europeans. Or the ABCC11 gene that makes 80 to 95% of East Asians have no sweat odor.
Yeah, no body odor.
But again, practically non-existent
This is
elsewhere.
mainly for Korea. Yeah.
This becomes even more complex when it comes to traits that are influenced by multiple genes. We haven't fully isolated the genes that are responsible for intelligence or personality, yet we do know both are genetically linked. And I think we can both agree that social cohesion caused by...
Somebody said this is like racism 201. This is your second class? Yeah.
similarities in intellect and character is vastly more important to survival than odorless sweat.
Yes.
Flot here. Race is a social construct. Nowadays, whenever a leftist says X is a social construct, you should just interpret that as code for I have no counter to this observable aspect of reality. It's not an argument.
The fucking, dude, the fucking image, oh my god.
It's just wordplay. What does social construct even mean anymore? Anything that humans have a socialized concept for? By that logic, everything is a social construct. The sun, the earth, molecules, everything has a socialized concept, as proven by the fact that I can name them and you know what I'm talking about. The fact that we have a social construct surrounding any aspect of reality does not mean that aspect of reality is made up. In fact, we build social constructs around real things out of necessity.
A lot of things are social constructs.
IQ tests are unreliable. For many...
This video to me is like... This is, like, I'm getting so much satisfaction out of this, you guys have no idea. You have no idea. Oh my god, it's pure catharsis. It is. And the thing is that finally you can say this. Finally there's a conversation. Don't tell bird brain guy like this. Oh yeah, science is racist now? Of course.
Decades, race egalitarians have had to deal with the world IQ map, which showed interesting patterns between IQ score and identity. Do
you remember how mad everybody got at me on Twitter for bringing this up? People were losing their fucking mind over this. They were furious at me for this. But nobody was saying I was wrong. It's a weird map. Yeah, nobody could have predicted this outcome.
Only rebuttal has been either that IQ is not meaningfully influenced by genetics, which is demonstrably false, and that IQ has issues. I don't contest the latter, but it's the best we've got. IQ is the best predictor of success that we have, even more so than being born rich. Some then argue that IQ in reality should be used as a predictor of success in Western society, rather than intelligence. Fine then. If IQ is a reliable metric for success in Western society, then naturally those with low IQ will not do well in Western society.
They used to have IQ tests for job applications. They got rid of that. I forgot why.
Therefore, we should not be importing them, nor should we expect low IQ groups to have similar outcomes to high IQ groups, even in the absence of discrimination. Since IQ is so artificially advantageous in the West, let those of low IQ thrive in other societies. Why do they insist on coming into our ones where they'll suffer? The reason is because there are no societies where high IQ isn't advantageous.
That's correct.
NPC tier. Culture fully explains disparities. This is everyone's favorite cope when they don't agree that the West is discriminating against certain groups, but don't want to give leftists reasons to call them racist.
You really saved the best for last. Oh, man. Oh, wow.
Here's the thing, you're gonna be called racist regardless when you disagree, so you might as well be honest. Why do some groups adopt or create certain cultures more readily than others? Both genes and culture obviously have an effect on each other. Genetics influence what culture you're most innately compatible with, and culture works as a form of selection. But which came first, genetics or culture? This isn't a
The chicken or the egg?
philosophic question. Genes obviously predate culture. Culture is a product of a people, not the cause of it, even if there is a feedback loop. Just because a culture works for one group of people doesn't mean it works for all.
Wow.
Abyss tier. Different groups are different for a reason. They adapted to survive in their own unique circumstances. The expectation that you can transplant the people from one part of the world into another, and that they'll integrate and perform at identical levels to anyone else, is a delusion rooted in the routinely debunked blank slate ideology. An ideology perpetuated solely by the fear of being labeled racist. That concludes the tier list. If there are any other arguments you'd like to see addressed,
one is good.
please share them in the comments below.
Guys. Wow. I'm going to link you guys the video. Wow. How about that? There's the video right there. What a fuck. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Holy shit. That was crazy? That was crazy, wasn't it? Oh my god. Comments? Read the comments? Socioeconomic factors forced me to click on this video. As Thomas Sowell said, you can't even get the same equality of outcomes within the same family and siblings. How can you achieve it across society? They took away the Nobel Prize from the guy who discovered DNA for saying IQ is genetic. He discovered DNA. This is a comment from 4 days ago of some dipshit that spelled my fucking name wrong. I came here from Asmongold. Oh my god. Same, didn't we all? As Asmon Silver. What, as we'll watch the video. The entire real estate estimate market is driven by the desire to get away from certain people. Jesus Christ, guys. Like, these are really... Most of these circles are red. Like, wow, bro is on a generational run. Fun fact, IQ is the most reliable, consistent, repeatable metric in psychology. Oh my god. I only believe in science, but only when it agrees with me. It's look at the most recent video, dude. These videos are Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down, guys! Can we watch another one? Bro, look at this! Look at the fucking thumbnail! Oh my god. This is... Dude, I'm gonna have to watch more of these. I want to pace myself. I do. I want to pace myself because I really think this might be my new favorite channel. But this is amazing. Like, I don't even know what to say. I really don't. Like, this is just, wow. Unbelievable, guys. 2 per day? I'll have to put this on a rotation like the cop slop videos, okay?